I'm Luke Henning with Harpy Instruments, and I'm going to take you on a tour today of our new, this is called the Starling bass, and this one is a short scale, which is a new thing for us over here at Harpy Instruments. Here's a bit of how the bass sounds. Okay, so a little bit about this bass. Right now, first thing to know is the neck on this is functionally a Mustang neck, especially like a vintage Mustang neck. It's a lot smaller than even some like standard short scales. It's actually fitting in like a Strat neck pocket for anybody out there who builds guitars. It's a little bit smaller than your standard short scale neck. These two pickups right here, they are actually miniature versions of a 1950s style P-bass pickup, P-bass single coil pickup. And right here in the control setup, it's pretty simple. We got volume, tone, just like a jazz bass. Where it gets a little funky on this guy are these two switches right here. The top switch is a three-way switch that switches between different tone capacitors. So these different tone capacitors will kind of change how this tone knob functions when it's all the way in the off position specifically. And it's especially apparent when you're playing with the front pickup engaged. So I'm going to give you a kind of tour of that really quick. Then I'm going to get to the second switch over here. So first things first, we're going to start with this all the way over here. Tone knob. Well, actually, let's start with the tone knob all the way up. So it's going to sound a little bit like this. This is with everything on, both pickups engaged, and the tone all the way up. All right, so it's got a bit of bite to it for a short scale, a little tony, but the magic happens when you take this tone knob all the way off. We're gonna go to our first position on this, which is a Fender Jazz Bass tone capacitor. See how buttery that is compared to with the tone all the way up? And now it's gonna get a little bit more interesting. So really pay attention to how this is sounding with this guy. So that is actually a Russian oil-filled tone capacitor. We just threw one of these in a bass randomly at some point in our production cycle. I loved it. I convinced everyone else to keep working with these, and yeah, they're awesome. And then finally, we have this vintage Fender tone capacitor. I think this one's an oil-filled one. I don't remember off the top of my head. Don't quote me on it. But this one is probably the creamiest of all of them. It's really dark and very low and heavy. You can see it's got a much darker sound, especially if you take this knob off. So now we are in, I'll explain this button in a second, but now this is just the front pickup with this one on. And then just the back pickup. And then that brings me to this little switch right here. So this switch takes these from series to parallel. So you can actually play these as a humbucker. You just engage the switch and it sounds like this. The tone knob all the way off and the front tone capacitor. This is the vintage Fender tone capacitor. All right, now I'm going to go back through the tone capacitors. This is going to be we're going to start with the front pickup and the back pickup off. Okay, back pickup. And then this guy engaged. So that's in the humbucker mode. And then we're going to go all the way back to the first one, jazz bass. That was front pickup. And now back pickup. And finally, we're going to do both on with the humbucker. All right, and then one last thing. Let's just get the tone knob all the way up so you can hear that humbucker in action. Remember, the tone knob up actually cancels out this entire switch, and here we go. But yeah, this is the official Harpy Instruments Starling Shortscale bass. This one's in a natural wood with a peach pickguard. You probably can't even tell that in the light. The orange knobs, we do all sorts of knobs, all sorts of pickguard colors. And also, just one more note, you probably can't see it, but this isn't a normal pickguard material. This is actually a acrylic. So it's slightly different than your normal pickguard. It's pretty cool, honestly. It's more opaque in some ways, but it's awesome. Love it. The last thing to mention, the bridges on these have adjustable saddles to actually account for the fact that it is a Mustang style neck. But yeah, it's a pretty cool bass, and you guys should check them out. Thanks.